Texas shooting. What happened? Why did it happen? Who happened? What are we going to do about us? Somebody's got some explaining to do. Let's get into it. Why? When? Who do we blame? Where do we go from here? Somebody's got to pay the piper, because this is unacceptable. It's your boy Tone. Let's get into it. All right, enough of that noise. Let me look something up real quick before I, go on my diatribe. You know what I think I did? Yep, there it is. All right, let me look something up real quick. I'm gonna listen to this Texas shooting. Watch this video real quick. Let's see what we know. See what we can figure out. Outlet Mall near Dallas. Just jumped out. Damn. 8 people dead. Some of them children, shot dead by a police officer. Neutralized a suspect. It's the 23rd mass shooting in the last week. 23rd. 199 this year, mass shootings. We don't know his name. We don't know his motive. We don't know why he did this. And that's where we're at. No motive. No manifesto. You know how people like to do this and, say, hey, I'm going to leave behind a manifesto to say this is why I did this. Remember me type of thing. And, freedom, and this, that, death to all, death to Smoochie, whatever. So we have, you like to call these people names. You like to be like, this idiot. I don't think so. I am under the impression that, for one, this is not an idiot. We like to just go off and just totally demean somebody like this. They're uneducated. They're blah, blah, blah. No. Nip, not whatsoever. This person consciously rode up to the outlet mall, pulled out an AR-style weapon, left his door open and the car running, started walking towards unsuspected, victims who did not know what was going on, and started opening fire in broad day, while it was busy. This person is not an idiot. And Even though it is a lone gunman, we are finding out that these people are not devising these murders on their own. No. This goes way deeper than what we like to think is just some knucklehead out there trying to be a lone wolf and throwing away his life and leaving no evidence why. We go and look on their Facebook, we go and look on their, the social media, and we try to piece together why this happened, and you don't find anything except a distraught mother, grandparents that don't know what the hell is going on. Like in the Uvalde shooting, we like to think that this, Uvalde shooting was just some 18-year-old kid who was pissed off that, the other kids in his school picked on him and called him poor because he was dirt poor. And then we turn around and find out that this kid shot his mother or his grandmother before he booked it out of there, and come to find out that this kid had $10,000 worth of equipment. Listen, I've been poor all my life. I do not have $10,000 worth of firearms. I don't have $10,000 worth of anything. This kid suddenly comes up with $10,000 worth of firearms. Not food, not Jordans, not, something, that he could use to further his life alone. Not a car, no nothing, no weapons. Weapons. 2 rifles, couple handguns, and plenty of ammunition. Rolls right up to the Uvalde school. Police gets right indoors, opens fire. Police wait how many minutes, an hour, whatever, to go in there. They surround the whole place and stop anybody else from going in and rescuing their children while they stand there and let this happen. And the kids are inside calling the police and talking to the police and asking them to come in and stop the shooting. And when they get hurt, they also die. Those kids died that were calling the police. They died because the shooter heard them and they were right there. This shooter did not go and shoot people who was his age. He went to a school where there were just defenseless people, teachers. Nobody's none the wiser. Nobody knows what happened. I'm telling you that these are not accidents. We had another shooter, the one that shot 12 people. 10 of them were Black people, and those were ones that died. The other ones who were shot, he shot them by accident, and he actually apologized to the white people. Come to find out that who he was really after was the security guard of that Kroger store, whatever store it was, because that man created a way for his car to run off of nothing but water. And he posted it on YouTube. And he was an ex-police officer. Now you have the automobile world where, Porsche or whoever is coming out with a car that just runs on water. People, these are not accidents. That kid also didn't have any money. How did he get how did he get those weapons? Just all of a sudden they get this. Listen, I'm telling you right now, these shootings they're not accidents. These people are not idiots. These people who are giving up their lives, they're not stupid. And this whole thing is a farce. People are really dying. People are really getting caught in the crossfire because, the way I look at it, none of us are worth anything to the people who are trying to keep everything under control. Anytime somebody comes up with an idea or something that breaks the so-called norm and or that can threaten the flow of finances, somebody see you think you're free in America, but you're not. If you create a way to make something better and make other people's lives better, then you're being scrutinized. You're a target. What happened to Dr. Sabi? How about a bunch of other holistic doctors all knocked off the planet? because they're talking about not eating what you're buying at the grocery store. Stop eating beef. Stop drinking milk. This, that, and the third. All of this. Stop this. Stop this. Stop this. Eat like this. Eat like this. Those people are dead. These are not accidents. The last person who created a way for, as a matter of fact, the last person who created, the last two people, there were three people that we know of that created a way for water to go into a gas tank and run an engine, and that engine could, take you from, one coast to the other on 1 gallon of water. All three of those people are dead. First one was a white dude. He was older, in his 40s. The second one was a younger white dude. Third one was an older black man. They're all dead. The one was poisoned, one was shot to death, and one just turned up missing. They're all dead. And now people, here's the thing about it though, that kind of progress has caught on. And people who are figuring it out and are engineering, in the engineer department, which I admire so much because I can't do it, but I love it. I love to see it. The engineering and the ingenuity that these people are using is starting to become commonplace. So now they're like, why don't we just make cars of our own and sell them? And instead of one of them getting the copyrights and monopolizing, why don't we just go ahead and monopolize so we can say it's our idea? The same thing with the man who was using radio waves to power his TV. You do not need electricity. There was a homeless man, and I think he was in LA. They're doing this big thing in LA with homeless people. It's ridiculous. Now you got superstars who are leaving LA. They're like, I'm leaving, I can't take it anymore. But he was part of this big cleanup that they were doing. The cops came and cleaned up all the people that were on the street because they had tents on the street. And these people were content to live out there. And one black man actually made his own electricity. And he was lighting up other people's tents. The cops saw that. They came and took his device from him. And that was it. We are not free, people. We are not free to do what we want. We're definitely not free to say what we want. And these shootings are not an accident. Read your comments. 9 dead, 18 people wounded. This is a peaceful outlet mall. Well, it was a target because it was so peaceful. Because nobody suspected. And Tone, just to think, I just told you I was at my son's T-ball game when this happened. Yeah, see, here's what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen now. Before you take your kid or kids or wife or you or them, the wife taking them anywhere, now you have to think what? Safety first. You can't casually say, we're going to do this. You go do that. It will be okay. I know you'll make it home because 9 people did not make it home. 9 people did not make it home. This is the very definition of terrorism. And it's not some foreign person with, wearing a turban or hijab or talking about another God and all this. No, it's us. It's us. It's Americans. 100% red-blooded, born here, raised here, knows the system, is a voter. A voter is American. Not somebody who's here on a temporary visa. Not somebody who snuck in the country on TWA or just doing like the bunch of Chinese are doing now. Chinese are trying to come into America, taking this, real dangerous route, and most of them are men because the route is so dangerous that they have to travel. They're like, bringing no women with us, no old people, no children. They're all men. They're all men, and are getting into the country. We're up against it, people. This was an American white male that I understand. So let me look that up real quick. You look this up real quick. Because let me see. I mean, they killed him, so watch Team on and I think he was a white male. So we're under attack, people, but we're under attack by our own government. There's some things you can't make. There's some things you can't say. What? Say this ain't true. Names beginning to emerge. Killer was racist link probe. Stop it. Shooting victims' names beginning to emerge. Killer's racist links. Killer's racist links. It sounds like it's a white male. As names of the eight people killed in the shooting in the suburbs of Dallas Mall begin to emerge, authorities work to determine whether the gunman's was motivated by white supremacy and neo-Nazi views. Federal agents have been reviewing the social media accounts and they believe were used by Mr. Garcia and posts that express interest in white supremacy and neo-Nazi views. A law enforcement official told the Associated Press Garcia's links to the ideology reportedly include social media posts as well as, well, if it's a Garcia, then that's not a white person. As well as patches on his chest that read RWDS as acronyms for the phrase Right Wing Death Squad. This is popular among right-wing, didn't I tell you? Right-wing extremists and white supremacists. Yeah, the official caution that the investigation is still early in the stage. Garcia was killed by the police. Yeah. Assault, which left 7 people dead with injuries that require hospitalization. Yeah, so the person's name was Marico Garcia, but was a white supremacist. So try that on for size. He was Hispanic. He was a Hispanic white supremacist that went to an area and shot probably Hispanic people. When I looked at the video, I didn't see a bunch of black people running around. No. Look, I don't know the names of the people who disappeared, but they were either white or Hispanic. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Let's do this. Let's do it. Let's do this because this. Listen, we need to make sense of this. So let's do this. Let's do this. Let's look them up. I ain't seen no black people, even though I ain't saying black people don't go to this mall. I'm saying when I saw him open fire, I didn't see any black people. Texas mall shooting lives update. Gunmen had been kicked out of the army. One of the victims' name was Christian LaCour. His grandmother, Sharon. Okay, so let's look at the name. He's a neo Nazi sympathizer, and he had an AR 15, which I was right on that. Okay, let's see if we can find any names. We'll include post references, extreme form, and content with white nationalism, including premium outlet match. Death Squad. I don't see any of the victims' names. Well, he was from the army. He joined in '08, but was kicked out after 3 months being in the army. He was never deployed. Why he was kicked out, they didn't say. He was separated under the 2005 edition of Army Regulation 65 or 635200, paragraph 517, physical and mental conditions. Sister in second and fourth grades. So two sisters died. They were in second and fourth grade. School district says the two sisters from the elementary school. 8 people killed. Saturday shooting. Allen, Texas. They were identified as Daniela Mendoza, fourth grader, and sister Sophia Mendoza. Okay? Went to an independent school district. The mother remains in critical condition, so that's 3 people. The school principal described the girls. Daniela and Sophia were not forgotten. What I'm saying is true. '21. What I'm saying is true, bro. I didn't see black people. I'm not saying they weren't there. I'm saying this doesn't make sense to me. This doesn't make any sense to me. I can't read your comment just yet. So okay, they're giving a list of names. Okay. Okay. The Aladea Christian LaCour, security officer, and these people. Let's see, the Amadea. So okay, so now things are coming together. Am- Ahmadiyya movement and Islam community. So many of the kids who attend this mosque work at the outlet. You see where this is going? This was no accident. He was 20 years old. Christian Yakur was a mall security officer who was a Muslim. He was targeted. So a girl who is from India, she also passed, and she was with her friend. Yep, they're from India. Yeah, yeah, she was from India. Okay, so now things are starting to. That's the only two that they mentioned. So things are starting to come to light. But like I was saying, I'll read the comment in a minute. But like I was saying, it doesn't seem like this person went and like targeted any black people. And it seemed like even though the mall is, a mixed mall, that this person knew that they were going to be shooting people of their own kind unapologetically. You don't shoot two girls who were in grade school on an accident. That wasn't an accident. He shot this chick who was from India. She was, she's an engineer. Her family's from India. That's where next to kin is. They live in India. And he shot the mall security guy who is a Muslim. So that's what we gleaned so far. I'll read your comments. It's mixed. Alan is a good mix of people, right? It's not the hood, never said it was the hood. It's an outlet from stores. Okay. Tone, I know. You know what pissed me off? Black, white, Hispanic, purple, green, and yellow. Wrong is wrong. This is true. No, he was shooting random people. I don't believe that. I disagree with you 100%. This was no accident. I don't believe he was shooting random people whatsoever. I don't believe the Uvalde shooting was random. I don't believe the shooting where they killed 10 black people was random. And we know none of these were random. We know that these people are getting a substantial amount of money suddenly. Suddenly, the Uvalde shooting, this guy comes up with $10,000. Suddenly, the guy who killed 10 black people has, $5,000 to $8,000 worth of equipment to go and kill. Suddenly, these people get this money. No, I don't believe this is an accident whatsoever. They were not. Well, I never said that. I never said that. Let me reiterate my point because you seem to be missing what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this guy was a white supremacist. However, he was clearly Hispanic or of Hispanic descent. He went to a mall and shot, so far, what we know, and killed, so far, what we know, two Hispanic little girls and their mother. The two girls are dead. The mother is still alive. A young lady in her maybe maybe 21. She was from India. Her parents still live in India. And the mall security guard, who is Middle Eastern, and his faith is Allah. And there is a mosque, and there is a mosque that's nearby somewhere. And the kids that go to the mosque work at this mall. This is what we gleaned so far. So we got pure hate, 100% hate, but did not go after one group of people so far. This is what we got. I'm trying to make sense of it. So why would he pick off people who look like him and have the same faith as he does? Did those three people, the mother and the two daughters, get caught in a crossfire? I just don't think they did. I don't think they did. Remember the 2 white people that were shot when the 10 black people died? What did the shooter say to the white people? He said, "I'm sorry." He apologized to the white people that he shot while he was shooting. He went in there with a purpose, which was to kill the security guard of the grocery store because he was the one who made the car run on water. This guy also had a purpose. We just don't know it because we know he was a supremacist. We know, according to his social media, he was a supremacist, but there's more to this. And we find out more to it when we find out who dies. We know the white kid shot 12 people, killed 10 black people, but it wasn't because he hated black people. Those people, if he went up there and just shot the ex-police officer who's the one who engineered the water, engine with the car, then it would have been obvious that he targeted that person. But he went in there and shot up a bunch of other people too. This was not random, not whatsoever. This guy went there with a purpose. And listen, this guy pulled up in the parking lot, got out of his car, grabbed his AR-15, and didn't even close his door. When you look at the Uvalde shooting, that guy crashed through a barricade, grabbed his guns, ran into the door, opened fire. When you look at the last school shooting, same thing. Walked right in the door, shot the window, bam, bam, got in the door, boom, went down the hallway, military style, and started shooting people. When we're seeing these mass shootings, and we're seeing these so-called lone gun people, I can't say men because the last one was a woman, was a transgender. The brazen, the ballsiness of it all tells me, it tells me that this is planned. And they plan on dying. It's planned. Somebody put them up to this, and they said, "I'll do it." Dylan Roof walked into a church, opened fire. Turns out he was a supremacist. It was planned. He didn't go there on his own. It was planned for him to do that. These things are planned, and the people who are putting these people up to it have plenty of money. Plenty of money. And when they want to make a statement against a group of people, this is what they do. They find somebody who's a radical, fanatical, completely out of their mind, and say, we need somebody to do it. I'll do this in the name of whatever. And they have their own ideology behind it. They can even blame it on God, which most people do. God told me to do this. That's why the KKK is still a thing. They believe they're acting on the behest of God. Christianity, with all of their slayings, they believe that they were acting on the behest of God. Muslims in jihad, they believe that God said do it, and so on, and so on, and so on. This is planned. And that's my point. I'm trying to put the dots together. So I'm not going to go back and forth with you on who they killed. I'm more interested in why that person got killed. Like, yeah, different religions, different colors, but if we can start pinpointing why somebody did something, and look at the supremacist group, look at people who want to commit jihad, look at people who want to, who are still angry at Jewish people, because a lot of these attacks, look at what happened to the Jewish people in the church. Somebody went in there and shot up some Jewish people. People are really, really angry at Jewish people. So they went to the church and shot it up. And I still think that none of these are an accident, but the more you can compare and contrast, the better it is for those of us who are, who are usually caught in, the random crossfire, for us to figure out, okay, this is what's going on. It gives the civilian some type of understanding of the whys and wherefores, and it can even give us some type of early warning on when to go somewhere and when not to go there. That's really what I'm looking at. None of these events are random. So if these events aren't random, that means that they're all planned out. If we can get on their level of planning, we can save a lot more people. Listen, it's just not let's go grab a bunch of guns and all walk around with a bunch of guns, because Texas already does that. Texas does this. This is Texas. Everybody's allowed to carry. So if it's happening in Texas, nobody has a damn chance. No one. Because anybody can be legally armed in Texas. Anyone. And if you guys aren't safe, then who's safe? Who's safe? What's the plan now? Everybody's got a weapon in Texas, and it still went down. Still went down. Who's safe? What do we do? What's the plan now? Everybody's armed. It still happened. Broad daylight. 2 girls are gone, and the mother's hit too. What do we do now? What's the plan? The plan isn't all for us to run around with AR-15s and Smith & Wessons tucked in our trousers. It's not the plan. The plan is to try to figure out what's the plan. That's where we're at. What mixture of people in one area can cause a response like this? What supremacy group, what religious group, what race of people might look at this area on this day as an easy target? And then that's when we need to be armed. That's when there needs to be, police there with, plainclothes cops and cops, dressed like cops. But definitely an extra cop or two wouldn't hurt. Somebody canvassing the parking lot or sitting around just looking like a regular dad or a regular mom. And whenever it pops off, bang, get to him first. Absolutely not. Or at least get to arrest him. When he pulled up and opened his door, it was on camera. It was on dash cam. He didn't sneak up. He didn't run up. He wasn't in a hurry. He was on somebody's dash cam, and when they saw him jump out with an AR-15, they put the car in reverse. And they have him shooting people while they're reversing out of the parking lot. Why can't we hire a cop to sit in the parking lot? Why can't we? How much does it cost? How much do those two little girls' lives cost? Are we worried about money? Why can't we have an extra cop sitting in the parking lot, at a grocery store, at the mall, at the theater? Just an extra cop. How much do they cost? Because I want my kids to feel safe going to the mall. How much does it cost? I'll pay for it. What do you got? Listen, listen, in all of these places, when you look at the Uvalde shooting, when you look at the shooting at the grocery store, when you look at the shootings at the theater, when you take this shooting here at the mall, let's look at the last 10 to 20 shootings. How many of them had a beat cop there? How many? How many police were there? How many police were there on a regular? When nothing happened, how many cops are present? Do they have any uniformed cops present? No. You know what they have present? Security guards. They have armed security guards. And some of them are old, and some of them are unarmed. Which means if I pull up with an M16, 7.5-pound air-cooled A2 rifle, and you have a Smith & Wesson 38 or a Heckler & Koch or a 9mm, and I draw first, who's going to die? What are the chances that your 13 to 17 shots don't hit me? And my 27 shots in one magazine will get you first? What are the chances I win that battle? I'm not speaking of planning attacks. I'm speaking of deterrence. What are the chances if the security guard was standing outside with a stick? What are the chances of a mall security guard walking around with a stick? Security guard outside a grocery store, stick. The security guard at the Uvalde shooting, stick. What are the chances that if all of them were armed just as much as the shooters, that the shooters wouldn't come and shoot up these schools, shoot up the malls, shoot up playgrounds? What are the chances? All of these shooters have a manifesto of some type. All of them. They have a plan. Somebody's put them up to something. If they cannot cause havoc, if they cannot cause fear, if they cannot terrorize us, then they'll stop doing it. That is the plan. I ain't saying raid them. I ain't saying go after them. I'm saying deter them. Arrest them if possible. Knock their whole heads off if you have to. But we can no longer be leisure. Leisure is over with. Our communities that are getting shot up by these teens, getting shot up by these racist people, it's over with. We can no longer walk around in kumbaya. We can no longer think that it's going to stop, because it's not. We can no longer think that our schools are safe, the mall's safe, the theater's safe, the playground's safe, the football game is safe. You are not safe. And that should be your frame of mind. And because you're not safe, and you and or your kids cannot return one day because of one of these people who got a hair up their ass and decides to shoot innocent folks for one reason or another, because this is highly possible now, you have to ring the alarm. We have to have a hue and cry. We have to talk to our community leaders. We can't idly sit by and say it's not going to happen again. It is. 199 in 1 year. And the year is not even over. When are we going to properly arm ourselves and say, you guys want the smoke? We got you. Any of you corporate guys who are sending these people out here, they're not going to reach their agenda. And we're going to find out who you are. We're going to follow the money. We're going to get the receipts of, these guys who are, getting these weapons. And we're going to fight back and protect our people. This is the only plan. It's the only choice we have, is to fight back, is to deter. That's how you fight back. Because it's probably way bigger than any of us. But if you can deter them, but they don't reach their agenda, lock these guys up forever, you can start figuring more out about them. Why they're so nuts. That's the only plan. And if the government has anything to do with it, which good chance. The Uvalde shooting had government written all over it. Now what do? We know the government will issue weapons. We know police officers will set weapons out and let black people, shoot each other up. This is why Chicago's so terrible. Cops wouldn't do that. They not only did that, They did it several times. We know that they flooded our area with drugs. We know that they cut our water off and, poisoned our water. We know that they poison our food. We know that they blow up cows and blow up farmlands. We know that all of this is happening, and there are people who are doing it on purpose. And these people are supposed to be in control of our safety. We know it's happening, and they're doing it. We know they're the ones who are causing riots. We know that they're the ones who are killing people. We know this. What do we do? What do we do? We have to wake up and say, hey, we're not safe. What do we do? How do we proceed? I don't know where you guys live. I don't want to know where you guys live. But wherever you live, this can happen. This can happen to anyone. The suburbs are not straight. They're not safe. If you guys think you're a particular color and you're safe, you're not. This guy was a Hispanic white supremacist. How safe are you now? 2 Hispanic girls dead. He was Hispanic. The lunacy is off the chain now. It's off the chain. We're not safe. We're not safe. You can't, wherever you think your address is, you think it won't happen to you, you're out of your damn mind. You're out of your mind. It can and it will. What do we do? If you guys got any questions, go ahead and hit me with them. Let me get some water. We're not safe. Not at all. Nobody's safe. What do we do? What do we do? We arm ourselves and head out? Do we go looking for revenge? Do we sit back and do nothing? Do we sit back and talk about it? Gather in a circle? Say, it won't happen again. It was some random person. They didn't mean it. They didn't mean it. He had a bad day. Had a bad day. And now what the cop said about one of these, white terrorists? Now what he said after he killed a bunch of people? He said he had a bad day. got a what? He murdered 10 people. He had a bad day. Adam. You know, sometimes we just get up on the wrong side of the bed and we just grab, an AR-15 and shoot people. We kill people. It's just a bad day. They were just black people. Who cares? Help us out with the census. 10 black people we don't have to worry about. A bad day. They died. Yeah, okay. What do we do? What do we do? Mount up on our horses. Time to go get some folk. What do we do? Who do we go and smack? Black people get offended. They love to go and smack each other. You said what? My hair looks like what? Shoot up their whole family. Somebody that's not of our race comes and kills us, we pray about it. Somebody shot your grandmother in a grocery store at point blank range. What did you do about it? Nothing. You killed the last man who stepped on your shoes. You did nothing to this guy or his family. You hunted this man's family down who looked at your girl. You went to his hood, you went to his house and got into it with his whole clan because he looked at your girl who's running around looking ridiculous. This guy shoots your grandmother in the face while she was, getting beans for, dinner, Sunday dinner, and you do nothing to him or his family. Not a damn. You pray about it. Let's just do. What do we do? What's the reaction? What's the reaction? What do we do now? That's what I want to know. Who's in charge of that? I want to talk to that person. All these people talking on the internet, doing that. Let's do it. What are we doing? Who's mobilizing? What do we got? What's the funds look like? What are we doing? How many babies are going to bite the dust before we do something? How many? Whose child has to get executed, broad daylight, point blank range? Whose child will not make it to the 6th grade? Let's do that. Let's think about it like that. Let's all sit around and take a survey on who's not going to make it to the 6th grade. You know what? I think your kid is not going to make it to the 6th grade. Yeah. I mean, now you have to consider that. Now you have to go, well, you know what? Statistically, 199 mass shootings and it's May. There is a statistic now. There is an average now. There is a statistic. How many kids died in 199 mass shootings? What is the age group that is being targeted? Look, is a statistic now. What is the statistic? What is the chances that your 6-year-old will not see their next birthday? What are the chances? There is a statistic now. It is real. It is palpable. It is right in front of our face. I don't care where you live. There's a statistic. From 1 to 100. 5% chance that little Tommy sees his next birthday. 10% chance that, Malika sees her next birthday. 4% chance that Alejandro will not see his next birthday. 2% chance that, Middle Eastern kid. How about the kid from India? She's dead. She's dead. Her parents sent her over here. She's an engineer. She's bright. She's she's dead. They have to send for her body. She came to America and got shot to death, broad daylight, by some random guy who 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 is not white, but was pushing for white supremacy. You if you're the parent, you gotta be like, what in the what in how does this make any sense? You wish you can talk to this dude like you're not even white and you're do you not understand white supremacy? Do you not understand where you're at on their spectrum, Garcia? Do you oh 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 the lunacy, it just hurts. Common sense is not common. What? Why? Why? Uh, how is this possible? How, Garcia? How did you fall for this? Who told you you were white? Who lied to you? Who told you you were a white man? Who told you you were a white man? Who? Went and done a DNA test. You found out that your descendants were European. That's what happened. You found out that your parents came from Europe. They were conquistadors. Spaniards. And you believe that these Spaniards, these seafaring brigands, their blood makes your Semitic tongue, your Semitic blood, you think it makes you more European. You're a Latino. You are one of the 12 tribes of Israel. You speak a Semitic language, your original language, not what you speak now. In that case, your descendants came from Africa. You're not white. According to the government, if you have a very small percent of black, is what they want to call it, but African American blood in you, you are dubbed as black, according to the government. So some people, who go and have children by white people, even though they're black, they think they're giving their child a better chance. Well, it all depends on who they run up against. Because the government still looks at you as black. You're just not my colored black. I have stood next to a guy who was black and light skinned, and they chose him before me. Happened twice, same dude. These people came up and saw both of us working, and they both offered him a job. They just looked at me like, so what? So it depends on, the atmosphere, but nonetheless, he's still a black man. I didn't fault him for it, but it's the reality of the day. I, the first school I went to, the second school I went to, is an all black college, well, mostly, but it's known for being an all black college, an HBCU, Talladega University. That college used to tell anyone who was darker than a brown paper bag that they are not welcome at this school. When you go to the library at Talladega University and you look up on the wall, there's a mural of the story of the Olmsted. The school gets government stipends because it was built by slaves. It's a historic site. But yet you tell dark-skinned people that you don't want them at this school. This is what they used to do. Okay, so I don't wonder why you're at the gym so much. I don't, that's what you want to do. That's what you do. I don't, I don't think about it not one way or another. I just think that's your thing. I don't know what you're talking about. People think that you're tripping. I have no idea what you're talking about. But nonetheless, so this Garcia guy who just killed all these people is a white supremacist. And here's another thing. There are black supremacists. They are black, but they're white supremacists. And there is a level of supremacy. There are there are black people who don't want nothing to do with black people. And there are black people who are saying, I don't want to live in a black neighborhood because it's terrible. Even if it's a black suburb, it's terrible, which is not true, because there are black suburbs all over the place, and they're not terrible. But they have a depiction of just black people being terrible. So they have a whole supremacy. They're saying the white areas are better than the black areas. This is not always true. The majority of people in this country that are poor are white. You're talking about people in general when you try to keep them low. Oh, okay. So, there's that. So there are different ethnic groups that look at white being right. I rather gravitate towards what white people are doing instead of what black people are doing. And in some cases, this is very true. They think that white people are more organized than black people. That's not always the case. They are glad that segregation happened. And some people are on the opposite field of that. They're like, segregation shouldn't have never happened because we had our own. We could take care of ourselves, give us our land. See, now California is going through this 40 acres and a mule thing. And they're trying to dish out reparations according to slavery history. And you got some people who are coming at folks and saying, people are going, hey, don't you believe that they owe us reparations for slavery? And some people are going, absolutely. So you should go over there to Africa to the people who sold you into slavery and start with them. No. We don't go to Africa and start with them and tell them to give us reparations because they sold us into slavery. If the whole stories of slavery are true and you bought us from them, then we start with you because you purchased us. If I was walking down the street and a man walked up to me and said, "Hey, you want to buy this stolen bike?" I know that it's stolen. And I go, "Absolutely. I'm going to take it and flip it." I take it, I'm riding it home. The police see it, they've been looking for it. Whoop, whoop. Who do you think is going to get in trouble? I am. I'm in trouble. I have the stolen property and I'm conscious that it was stolen. Now, if I didn't know, that's different. But I knew that it was stolen. I'm guilty of breaking the law. So we don't need to go to Africa and say, "Hey, you tribes, the homie tribes, you guys got rich, off of, my ancestors. You owe us money." Absolutely not. We didn't build Africa. We built America. 40 acres is equivalent to $200 million. If you took that and if you looked at the lineage, this is what some people came up with. 40 acres is equal to $200 million. I don't know the math on that. But I'm gathering if they're saying if we still had our land, and not everybody is a genius when it comes to land. Let's not get it twisted. Some of us would have sold that land. Some of us would have bargained it away. Some of us would have used it for the dowry. Some of us would have married into other families and grew the land. Think about how many floodgates and barriers were broke. Yeah, the ones in Louisiana. See, now that's what I'm talking about. The Louisiana floodgates. They owe those people who have had that land and have had those houses. They blew up those floodgates. They flooded Louisiana. And then they kicked all the people out, and then they raised the property of the land and said, "You guys can't, that's it. You can't come here. You no longer own this land." It's just like, this is still our land. It was just flooded. Nope, not anymore. We bought the land. You bought it off of who? You didn't pay us for it. My house was right here, except it was underwater because you did that. But now they're like, "Nope. Ah, nope." How many villages and towns? Checking my stocks. Let's think about this. How many villages and towns that were owned by Black people are underwater right now? Most of the lakes that you guys fish on, there's a whole city up under there. They were all owned by Black people. Central Park that land was owned by Black people. 75% Black people, 25% Irish. It was called Seneca Village. The government came and took it from them and said, "All of you people have to leave." And they bought it on land contract. This is the excuse they use. On land contract, it belonged to Black people. Central Park belonged to Black people. But I don't frown upon my people. No, no one tone. Instead, try to be a solution to the problem. For example, you got a guy that comes from a broken home. In school, everyone turned their back on him. That's true. But yeah, most people come from broken homes nowadays. But the fact is that there are, plenty of lakes that Black people, they're still buried there. There's a whole village. There's churches, doctors' offices, post offices, all that. And what they just did was they kicked all the people off and then they flooded it. And of course, you have people's relatives are buried there. They're all underwater. And there's a whole list of them. There's like 100 lakes. Hundreds, thousands of people. That's where they're buried underwater. You can go scuba diving and look at these buildings. They're all underwater. Land contract. When the government wants something, they take it from you. That's what they do. And they've taken it from black people over and over and over again. Whenever black people have a settlement, this is what happened in Oklahoma. In Black Wall Street, the white people lived on one end, the black people lived on the other end. The white people would throw stones at the black kids, say crazy stuff to them. But it was a whole black town. They just mind their business. They didn't want no problems, no nothing. And then, of course, the white woman enters into the fray. And she says a black kid, or black man, excuse me, looked at her, whistled at her, whatever. We've heard this over and over again. The white supremacist men crossed over that line, crossed into the black city, and they want this man who allegedly committed some kind of crime, which was no crime at all. Black men who were military men came out in droves and said, absolutely not, because they knew that he was going to get hung. They said, nope, it's not going to happen. The white guys said, okay, turned the car around and went, got more of them and tore the whole place up. 3,000 people were missing, murdered, and hung. All because of a lie. And then, of course, that land was absconded. And it's so-called their land, where they can tax you to live on it. You pay taxes to live on the land that you own. Rightfully, all out. You pay taxes on the water. You pay taxes on air. You pay taxes on everything. No matter where you go in America, you're going to pay taxes on land that you own outright. And if you go buy 20 acres of land right now, out in wherever, if the government finds out that there is oil on that land, they will come and tell you that you have to move off the land. And you'll go, why? It's my land. They'll go, not anymore. And that's it, and that's all. If there's something else on that land that is found of value to the government, they will come and take it from you. And then they'll threaten you. And what they'll say is, we believe that you are selling weed here. Now, you can either leave on your own, or we can arrest you for being a drug dealer. You're like, I don't sell weed. They're like, yeah, you do. What are you going to do? You're going to go ahead and leave, or we're going to put you in federal prison and forget about you. Now, how do I know these things are true? Because Mel's whole. Look it up. Mel, a white man actually, found a hole that went so deep into the ground, they didn't think that there was a bottom to it. They even lowered spools of fishing line down just to see if it hit the bottom, and it didn't. It was miles long, miles deep. So Mel started talking about this hole on the airwaves. We started talking about it because a dog fell in the hole. And then they saw the dog again, but the dog was dead but alive. They also would lower things down in the hole because now they realize that this thing has some type of supernatural purpose to it. And they lowered like a lamb or something, a goat down in there, and of course the goat died screaming. Then this creature came out of the hole, and it was just, ridiculous. It was something that was completely foreign, and it was talking to them. And as Mel is reporting on all of this stuff over the airwaves, the government took an interest, came to him and said, listen, you're going to have to go. He's like, no. They said, well, we think you're selling weed. He's like, I'm not. They're like, yeah, you are. And he left, and the government took the hole over. The hole became a big deal because people started coming to see Mel's hole. They didn't believe it. But like I said, the government is notorious for doing things like this when there is, riches to be had, especially if it's oil. Now, the chances of you finding oil on your land, I don't even know. But, oil is still a thing here. So there's that. Anyways, you guys got any questions? Oh, woo! I haven't done anything today, and I'm tired. My back hurts from that refrigerator. But, what do we do about Texas? About the mass shootings? I say more armed security. Don't just hire a security guard. Hire a security guard with a stick and make it very visible. And don't hire an old security guard and let that be the reason. Yeah, the government killed Pat Tillman. And I don't need to go through that story. You guys all know who Pat Tillman is, so I'm not going to go through that diatribe and bore you guys. But I found that story really interesting because I'm ex-military. I've never been deployed, though, but I am ex-military. And I come from a military family. So when I heard this story, I was, beside myself. Like, how could they do this? Man, I missed that. I missed that one. I missed the ball on that one. I was like, how could they in to bring the point back, the back. All right, you want me to talk about it? All right, so I'll skim through the part that everybody knows. Pat Tillman played professional football. Played for the NFL. He played for the Cardinals, I believe. Pat decided to be a Patriot. He was a defensive player that I know of. I could be wrong. It's okay if I am. And Pat decided he wanted to join the military because he wanted to go to Iraq or whatever it was, wherever we were fighting. And don't forget to hit the like button if you like what I'm talking about. Never mind, you sleepy. I'm not sleepy. I'm gonna be on here for a while anyway. No, I'm not going to sleep. If I go to sleep now, I'll be up all night. Anyways, so what Pat did, I don't know who's on here anyway. It's you and somebody else, one other person, and they might not know about Pat Tillman. You're the only person who has left a comment for the last hour. But anyway, so Pat played for the NFL, and he wanted to be a Patriot. He's linebacker. He played on the defensive end of things. He's a linebacker. He wanted to be a Patriot. He wanted to represent his country. DB and safety, there you go. He wanted to represent his country. So he said, okay, fine. I'm going to go across the water and do my, represent my country. I'm going to do my due diligence. And people were like, yo, that is admirable. We need people to, fight for our country. Let's go kill the infidel actually, we're the infidel. But let's go kill, the jihadists or whoever they were after the Middle East. And so he was in a Humvee, and there were two Humvees, and they were told to go to a site. They were told to go to a site, and then they were ambushed. The two Humvees were split up. They both had the same information told to them, but I don't think they were aware of each other or however it went, and they fired on each other. And they purposely was aiming for Pat Tillman. And the reason why the government killed Pat Tillman is for patriotism. They need they need a poster boy. That's what they wanted. They wanted to show somebody who would be their shining light hero, but die for their country. And that's what he was. You know what I'm saying? He was a stand-up guy. Everybody liked him. He played really good heads-up football. And they was like, we're going to make an example out of Pat Tillman. And they murdered him. And that's it, and that's all. But other people were shot and injured in the whole thing. Both Humvees were actually shot up. But they purposely aimed at him and killed him. And like I said, this all ties into whenever there is an active shooter, there's a reason why they're going ballistic. And there, of course, are people caught in the crossfire, but they know there are going to be people caught in the crossfire, and they don't go and aim at one person. Some people are killed for shock value. I'm trying to tell you, this Texas killer, he was after probably one person. He was after one person. In the Uvalde shooting, that guy was after the children of the police officers. Yeah. I'm telling you, he was after one person, and everybody else was there to make it look good. Everybody that died to make it look good. Hey, you guys got any questions? Hit me up. I'm going to make some music. Relax. My brain is, in chill mode. My stocks are, I don't know, they're up a little bit. Not much, though. But it's better than being down. I'll take it. Couple pennies. Absolutely. Yeah. Just make some music. Maybe a sandwich, too. Need a sandwich. Damn, Tony, I think I just made my point. Yeah. Yeah, you helped out with that point. Uh, Whenever the government is involved, they definitely have a purpose. They have a target, but there are other people who die, and they're just in the way. And Pat Tillman, he died, but other people got shot because they were in the way. The dance moves, I ain't got no dance moves. I retired. I got no dance moves. Have your sandwich. Everybody get up. It's very beamy, isn't it? Everybody get up. Break down. What's your mama cooking? Go and talk to him. Get down. Morning two. Good God. Oh, break. Enough of that. Showing my music a little too much. What up, Natalie? Not too good, man. Not too good. What's not too good? Oh, you guys are talking to each other. Tone, bro. We good. Slim and chill. Let's see, bro. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something that happened today. So I was wearing my knee, things around my knee. I was able to run for a few steps. You know what I mean? I didn't want to do too much. But I'm gonna try to jog, not too far, but I'm trying to lose some weight. I lost about 6 pounds. You know what I mean? Ready for the summer. There is no ready for the summer for me. I'm not It's just all about being able to, get some weight off. I'm watching. Oh, okay, Natalie. Yeah, Natalie. What's up? Uh, Natalie, not too good. What's wrong with Natalie? What happened? Hope you're well. Family too. Thank you. Things are rough on the. Well, I'm telling you, things are rough all over, you guys. Nobody's catching any breaks. Nobody's catching any breaks. I'm gonna tell you why. Because the powers that be are convinced that things need to be harder here. Listen, why are they bringing in so many people from South America? Why are they busing them over the border and then just dropping them off in the middle of ritzy neighborhoods? Why are the politicians playing this game? And then kicking black people out of the very hoods where they lived and they helped build, and giving stipends to Hispanics that had nothing to do with building these neighborhoods. Now, listen, I am all for, asylum. If you're coming from a war-torn country, I'm all for that. I'm for coming here and making the best of it you can. I'm down with that. I don't care who you are. If you can come here and live peacefully, that's your aim. I'm with it. Come on, come to America. Do your thing. Come on. I don't care who you are. But I don't appreciate that black people are being kicked out of their homes wrongfully. Their land's being stripped from them. This is happening every day. The highest evictions in America are black women. Okay? It's a real thing. You have, they're putting us in jail for, they always been doing that for stupid reasons and sometimes no reason. And now, because that's so rampant, you got laws that are put in place where now a person, if they're wrongfully convicted, they get $140 for every day that they were locked up. So there's that. But some states will not adhere to it. And if something happens to you here, good luck. They had a guy who won $2 million, a black guy, won $2 million. He was dead after they gave him the judgment. He never received a dime. They killed that man so quick. I remember his black brother, he was in court and it was like $2 million. He jumped up, he never saw a day of it. Not one dime. They killed him. So you get nobody is catching a break. White men are under fire by feminism. Rough out there for them too. It's not cool to be a white male anymore. That's completely turning over on their heads. White women are they're in a state of emergency because white males no longer want to marry them. So there are governments worldwide, European governments, who are scrambling to make white people screw and have children. Even Elon Musk said there's not enough people on the planet. The white populace is diminishing by staggering numbers. Now, some of it is because they are constantly at war. Some of it is because of natural causes. Then you have drugs, diseases. You have things that slowed down their population, years ago, like the Spanish flu, the Black Plague, that slowed them down. World War One, World War Two. America's been at war for 235 years. We're constantly at war. And then of course you got heart disease and all that other stuff, and then you got fentanyl and COVID. During the year plus of COVID, there were 6 million white people lost between COVID and fentanyl. And now fentanyl is mainly in white territories, even though black people use it too, but you don't have black people making it as much as white people are making it. This is a drug that white people pretty much got a hold of this one. And they are its main users here in America. And of course, fentanyl can kill you by just touching something that is on it, so that it's on. So you have people who will see $1 and they'll pick it up. Had a white woman pick up $1. She was like, I'm winning. She picked that $1 up and fell down. They took her to the hospital, and they found out there was fentanyl on it. So this is a she wasn't somebody who was trying to, because some people were like, oh, you're just making it up. No, I'm in the hospital from picking up $1. Why am I making this up? She was like, it had fentanyl on it. This is also a way that people are trafficking women. So if you find $1, or if you find if you come to your car and there's a cloth on it that's tied around your handle, your door handle, don't touch it, because it's good chance it's poisoned. And as soon as you fall out, there's somebody who's in close proximity who's watching you. They watched you get out, they targeted you, they targeted your car, they're sitting in your car, and they're going to play hero when you fall out. And they're going to help themselves to you, put you in the car and drive away with you. You're the target. And it's usually more than one person. So white people are losing their, white women are losing their minds because white women do not want to be spinsters. But the spinster community is growing. It is a pandemic, the spinster community. These are single women who have not been married and/or are divorced, and now they are past their prime. There are a lot of videos talking about the wall and women hitting the wall. Well, we all know that the wall is undefeated. Women are even saying, I haven't hit the wall. I'm 40 years old and I'm still sexy. You have hit the wall, man. Your eggs are no longer in existence. Your ability to attract a mid to high earning male goes down because of what that male wants, which is to get something out of you. Your ability to trade for his resources has gone down because your natural resource, which are your eggs, are no longer there. So at 40, yes, ma'am, you've hit the wall. Even if you have a few eggs, it is still harder for you to have children. This is why you're at your most high value somewhere around 20 to 21. And this is why the girl working at Wendy's gets married over the lawyer. So you have a lot of women who was fooled by feminism, and they went out and got all these careers. They're doctors, lawyers, nurses, and all this other stuff. But they're 31, 32, and they're looking now that they have their career. And they're finding out that the market that they are in, even in their current surrounding, which is usually, your city, they're finding out the available men, single men, are not checking for them as much. Their phone stops ringing. You know, the closer you get to 40, the more your phone is going to stop ringing for suitors. You'll get booty calls and late night texts, but you won't get men who are looking to put a ring on your finger. It just gets harder. So that's a whole pandemic, and it's covering every race. I mean, the Chinese, India has 70 million women who are single. And the wall is, is hitting them earlier now. You have college-aged women who realize they're going to spend the rest of their life alone. And they're not doing it just for TikTok. They're doing it because there's not enough men available. And the more men that go out and to these wars and, die from, food and die from violence and all this stuff, the less there are for you to marry. So that's a whole thing. And, and the beat goes on. There's just a lot of things that are happening. And like I said, nobody's safe. Nobody is in a place where they're not being pressured. The people who are married, they're under pressure because divorce is fashionable. Hollywood makes divorce look like it's a beautiful thing, but the Bible clearly speaks against divorce and says God hates divorce. So you have the majority of divorces are caused by the females. And if you watch any of the Desperate Housewives shows, which I do not because it was just trash from the beginning, you'll find out the majority of women who are on that show or have been on that show have either divorced or are heading towards divorce. They're all gleefully walking to the courthouse. Even after one woman, she had a baby and then she married and she had 2 babies with a husband, and then she made her husband adopt the first baby, which was by another man. And as soon as he adopted that baby, she filed for divorce. And I have no idea what these women think that they're going to run into at 40, 45 years old. Especially when you were married to a lawyer who's a prominent lawyer. Holding it down, making over 100 G's, was affording you, you didn't have to do nothing, but you wanted to work, which is fine. But you didn't have to. Neo, his wife divorced him. Tyrese, divorced. These are all high-earning men. Their money's constantly going to come in. These women are leaving them. Even Tyrese's new girlfriend left him too. So the woman is not satisfied no matter how much money you have. She is leaving the man. And we know this because of when you file for divorce, things are pretty much public. So you can look up the record and see who divorced who filed. And if a woman files for divorce, the man has to pay her lawyer and his. And because divorce is such a business, men have been opting out of marriage. Then you go to the dating pool, and women are constantly complaining about how hard it is to date now. And the reason why that is because men are no longer dating to marry. They're just dating. Knee-jerk reaction to that is women who are dating men, but they're not their boyfriend, they're just dating, their numbers are going up. So now you have promiscuous, men and women, but the promiscuous woman pays for it the most because she's going to hit the wall. Not only that, the more promiscuous she is, the less she's able to pair bond. Now, there's always a one-off somewhere. This is not with every woman, but statistically, the more sex you have with different partners, the less likely it is you'll be able to settle for one. That's just the truth. That's just the truth. An old white lady got what? So we have that going on. An old white lady got busted for dealing drugs. I mean, listen, the white woman used to be the pinnacle of America. The first lady was white. She was looked up to. Nobody could criticize Jackie Onassis from the Onassis family. You couldn't look at Jackie Onassis and be like, that's strumpet so-and-so. Couldn't do it. You couldn't find dirt on Jackie Onassis. Couldn't find dirt on her. You couldn't find dirt on Lady Bird. Lady Bird Johnson, the pinnacle of femininity. You couldn't do it. Nancy Reagan was known for being a thought. Nancy and Ronald were the biggest drug dealers on the planet. Old Bubba and his wife, Bill and Hillary Clinton, their bodies underground because of those people. Bill has a legitimate child by a black woman. It's true. It is very true. Now you got our current president and his wife. Don't know what's going on there. Why is another man kissing your wife? Don't know. On the lips in front of everybody. The standard that was held before the whole world, Camelot, has fallen. The very light that America was, that the White House was supposed to be, the White House was minus Tirith. You don't know what that is, go look it up. That's what the White House was. It was minus Tirith. It's a Lord of the Rings reference. But it's fallen under disarray. Monica Lewinsky, surprised she's still alive. Her and her mother blew the whole thing up, didn't they? The white woman is not what she was depicted to be. White woman is different now. They're all tatted up. They're all shaking her ass in the street. They're all divorcing their husbands or cheating on them with, young black males. The daughters are running around with G-string, swimming suits on, cheeks hanging out. The white woman. The white daughter, the white college student. The white female college student. Do we need to go into that? The white female college student, everybody knows what's going on there. It was a time when none of this would have happened. She's getting her back blown out for GP. The majority of people who are on OnlyFans are who? White females. What happened? How did the white woman fall so far? Majority, white females. The majority of people who are in pornography, white females. Why? Suburbanites. Dad has a good job. Mom's a good woman. You're 15. You walk out of your parents' house. They don't know you're gone. One of your girlfriends said, hey, come to the rough part of town. You grab your bags. You head off to the rough part of town. She introduces you to her pimp. Some black dude. Y'all go in the house. Your girlfriend leaves. You don't know where you're at. And you're there with a pimp. What do you think is about to happen to you? Can't cry for mommy and daddy now because they don't know where you're at. You left the house on purpose. What do you think is about to happen to you? You think you're about to sit there and talk about the Teletubbies or something? What do you think this man, this grown-ass 30-year-old, what do you think he's going to do? Why do you think you're there? What value do you add to his life? Well, the only value you have is not your smarts. It's the way you look. He puts you out on the block. Your dad realizes that you're gone. They put out an APB for you. Nobody can find you. They don't find you for months. Your dad has no faith in the police. So what he does is he hops in his Ford, F-150, and he goes to the seedy parts of town looking for you on the street. They find out where you're at. Bring you home. You're pregnant. Who's the father? I have no idea. Sit down and talk to the mom. She says, what happened? You tell her. I left the house. I went with so-and-so. She introduced me to her pimp. He broke me in, put me out on the street, and 150 men had their way with me. One of them got me pregnant, and here I am. What happened to the white woman? You would think that I just made that story up, but I didn't. Didn't make it up. It's on YouTube. I don't know the woman's name, but it is a true story. And it is common. The white college student, the white female college student, why is she so promiscuous? What is she doing? Why would the white college student throw her away her most valued and most treasured womb like that? Why would she just bear it all and just let people do whatever? Why doesn't the white woman think that she's valuable anymore? You couldn't look at a white woman wrong, or cities would burn. Now they can't keep their hands off of us. They can't stay out of the hood. They can't. You can't tell a white woman, you can't tell a white teenager to stay away from black boys. They don't have to go after men that's older than. They go after what they can get. They go after these little teen boys. They got white girlfriends. These little middle schooler and high schoolers. They got white girls that are their age. So there's no law being broken. But why the black man? Why? Why do they gravitate towards black people? All that she is, all the glory of the white woman. This is the most valuable womb on the planet. On the planet, on the entire planet. The 20-year-old womb of a white woman is the most valuable. Actually, it's less than that. The age is less than that. It starts at about 14 and goes up. But I'm not here to talk about 14-year-old girls. I'm saying the value. No, I don't. I usually date black women. Black women don't like me though, but But I like dark-skinned black women. But why? Why is the value? Why do men covet the white? Starts at about 12, ends at about 24, 25. Why do they travel across the world? Why? Why are they so much? Why do they cost so much? Why are they so valued? Why? Because they don't. Well, why? It's the most valuable womb on the planet. Feminism of white women and feminism of black women is not the same. White women can get away with doing stuff that black women just can't. There's a hierarchy, and white women are at the very top of that. Very, very, very top. They get away with some of the most atrocious crimes. But why? Why are they the most valuable? Why are they getting? Why are they throwing away their value? Instead of going out and finding a white, you know why? Because there aren't any. There's not enough men. You understand what happened? With all of the wars, plus the diseases, plus the crimes, and other factors, white men has made their woman barren. That's what happened. The availability of the white man is less and less each year. When Becky wants to get married, she is scouting her man out in the 8th grade. When she has her head on right, 8th grade, she has a boyfriend. Don't believe me? Look it up. Who's in the 8th grade? Let's get this straight. This is not a crazy thing because some of y'all think it's, I'm talking about an 8th grader and another 8th grader. So let's get this straight. She's scouting her man out in the 8th grade, 8th, 9th, sometimes 7th grade. When they hit high school, they're an item. When they graduate, they get married. And some of them before they're graduating. And their parents are aware of this whole thing. This is not a snuck off no, this is Josh likes Jenny, and it's Jenny and Josh. From the seventh grade, it's Jenny and Josh. Parents talk to each other, they know each other, they all go out and eat and stuff. It's been Jenny and Josh since the seventh grade, and boom, that's what it is. They hit college, it's freaking Jenny and Josh. That's what it is. Boom, they get married, have a couple kids, it's Jenny and mother freaking Josh. That's what the heck it is. Now, women from India, they have the whole traditional where a man picks a woman. They do not have a high body count on those women. Women from the Middle East, man picks the woman. Families merge together. You don't have high body counts in the Middle East. You don't have that. Other countries, the same way. You don't have high body counts. Here in America, extremely high body counts. And a majority of those women don't get married because there are not enough men available to marry them. This is why you have girls who are coming out of high school and going into college looking for a male to be traditional, but they can't be traditional because there's not enough males. Their competition is a grade younger than them. And their competition is fierce. When Becky wants to get married, she's cutting everything and everyone off that has a negative influence on her marriage. She hangs around only girls that think the same thing. When she gets older, she does the same thing. Becky does not hang around Brenda and Brenda's a thought. She's, Brenda, I love you, but I can't hang with you. It's not happening. She doesn't listen to Brenda and say, oh, all men are trash. She's like, not happening. Goodbye. I'm not doing it. No, we're not doing that. Is Brenda your friend? Absolutely not. She's just the person that I know. Absolutely not. We don't hang together, no nothing. Men are all trash. She doesn't have nothing to do with you. You can't call her and her come running over. No, she's. I'm not coming over there. I'm not. No, don't call me. Call one of your thought friends. Because Becky is looking to get married and she is doing everything possible to get that man. So thought culture and Becky are completely different. Black people aren't like that. Not at all. But this culture that is in the white system has fallen apart. You even got people at the very, 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 very top. The three families that are the most influential here in America are the Rockefellers and the who's the other one? The Rockefellers and the damn. I can see their name, but I can't say it. Forgot their damn name. One of them just had one of their granddaughters is like in her 20s, high 20s, almost 30. She was dating Jay Electronica. She left her fiance to run around with Erykah Badu's ex. How? How did this happen? Bill Gates' daughter. Bill Gates' daughter has a black boyfriend. He's dark as me. And she loving all on this man. And what he did was he posted on TikTok and said, I tried with you black women. I tried with y'all. And then he shows his white girlfriend. And he's just as cheesing. And of course the black girls are, yeah, blah, 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 you can have him. He's dusty, you know, and all this other stuff. Not even realizing who he's kissing on or who's kissing on him. They have no idea who this woman is. They just think she's another white woman. In every picture that he has with her, he has the biggest grin on his face until somebody makes a TikTok and points out who the woman is. And you can say anything negative you want, but this is a billionaire. All you women, I got money and blah blah blah. You're not a billionaire. Your mother's not a billionaire. Your father's not a billionaire. You're not. Your father doesn't own most of Montana. Bill Gates is the largest landowner in America. You're not. You're not close to this. No matter what, and the girl's good looking with dark hair. Now, is he gonna marry her? I don't know if Bill's gonna allow that, but if she wants to do, hey, he's gonna have. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. Is he gonna disown the girl? I don't know. But the point is he's knocking down Bill Gates' daughter. And he said, I tried with you. Now, you think this would have been possible 20, 30 years ago? Absolutely not. 100 years ago, he'd have got killed. He'd got hung in the street. What happened to the white woman? White men is what happened to the white woman. All of your wars left you or left the white woman with no choice. So she's going to what's available. And black women are leaving black men. I don't like them. Call them names, they tease them. All the regular dudes ain't no good. All the drug dealers are banging out all the women and all the regular dudes. Just the normal everyday dudes. Corny dudes. Y'all don't want them. Well, guess what? There are only 21 million women in America, black women in America. That's it. 21 million of you, regardless of the age. 21. That's not a lot. When you roll over and find out how many white people are in America, 239 million, and the majority of them are what? Women. You see where this is going? One person's trash is another person's treasure. And that's what you're witnessing now. That's what's going on. And the more you leave these men, strong, fast, good looking, the more you black women dog these men out. The more you hate on them, the more you call them dusty because they don't make six figures. They work at the car wash. Let me tell you something. Becky will come to the car wash, pick him up in a brand new Jaguar, and let him drive it. Hell, she'll buy him one. You're fooling yourself if you don't think that the black man is valuable. Highly, highly valuable. All around the world. Latinos say they want black kings because they like our height, they like our muscle build, and we can fight. They also like the fact that we are talented. European woman, the Germans, they like our height, they like our build, They like our phallics. They openly admit to this. Other Asian women, we want BBC. Openly admit to this. And they're like, we'll marry you. The African American woman, throw him away. Laugh at his hair. Laugh at his skin color. Dog him out. So you got the white woman who has fell down. Her standards have changed, but the reason why they changed is because they were forced to change. There's just not enough white men, and America is traditional. America believes in a monogamous relationship. They don't believe in polyamory. So you have this influx of females being born, and when they get to dating age, which is when you start dating, when do girls start looking at little boys with interest? Somewhere around 9 or 10. When do the parents start saying, hey, Tommy can come over and eat dinner with us? That's usually around 10, 11 years old, right? So, I mean, you're not official, but it's a cutesy little thing. It becomes official around, what, 9th grade? Right? Your parents are cool and all you guys got this thing worked out. 9th grade, boom. High school, you're definitely dating. Hell, you're probably screwing by high school. Some of you are pregnant. Some of you are married. You understand my point. The white woman has gone with the tide. She says, I'll have black babies. How many white women are hunting down Chinese men? How about Middle Eastern men? One time you gotta have thick skin. You know that. You grew up in projects. Yeah, I grew up in projects. I like dark-skinned women, but they don't like me. But I'm not here to talk about me. I'm here to talk about America. Listen, the last white woman I dated wanted me to stay. I didn't want to stay. Country girl. Had one kid, little brat, was 16. She's a good kid too. She was just, going through her 16. And, her boyfriend lived in Minnesota. She was kind of, a little pissed she couldn't see her dude, so she'd get into it with her mother and I'd have to referee. But she was cool with me, Kid didn't smart mouth me or nothing. The mother was great. I have no money. I was pawning my stuff just to make rent. Mother didn't call me out my name not once. Not once. She was just a really cool chick. She's like, move in. I was like, absolutely not. She's like, come down here. I'll find you a job. You can work with me. You see that? Black women don't do that. They do not. She was like, I will find you a job. You come down. You can live here, live in this big ass house with me. My kid likes you. You guys are great. And the kid was great. And that's another thing. Like when it comes to the kid's always just, you don't want to be around the kid. This kid was she never said anything to me off the wall that made me not want to be around her. Like I could have been a stepdad to her easily. As a matter of fact, I started, being that I was always visiting, I was like, you're 16. What are you gonna do with your life? We had that conversation, and she say what she wanted to do, and I was like, well, you need a driver's license, and so I took her to go get her driver's license. The place wasn't open, but that's what I'm saying. She was open to instruction, and I was really enjoying that. Like this kid is listening, and she's not bad mouthing, she's not going crazy, she's not flipping out, she's not destroying stuff, she's not telling lies, running away from home. We don't, the police, none of that. She's just lonely because her dude lives so far away. And then her and her mother would have their little spats, and I'd tell her mother, actually, I'd stop her mother before I said anything to her, like, get over here. This little girl's she's 16, she's lonely. It is what it is. But I enjoyed them, but I didn't belong there. I didn't feel right. So I got out of there. Yeah. But that was my last white woman experience. And I haven't dated a white woman since. But I enjoyed them, you know. And their family was something else because there was black all through their family. Her sister was married to a big old black man. And I remember I went over there for Christmas. I'm just now getting to know her. She's like, bring your boyfriend over for Christmas. She's like, you want to go to mom? I said, come on, let's go. They had 2 adopted kids. They were black. Like, okay. Husband was black. I was like, all right. And they said, hey, we bought you presents. I was like, wait, what? They're like, well, we got you something. I made this. I still have it. She made me a blanket. The sister made me a blanket. I still got it. It's in the bedroom. And I almost came to tears. I did. I haven't had a Christmas gift since I was 14. And the sister saw me looking at the blanket and just I was like, cool. She says, it hasn't hit him yet. He's one of us now. It took everything for me not to be with him. She says, it hasn't hit him yet. He's one of us now. As somebody who's been alone most of their life, it messes with you. That messed with me, bro. No fighting, no yelling, no calling the police, no brothers, uncles, cousins coming over there trying to start with me, no badass kids, no badass children. All the children were well behaved, all of them, all of the kids. The grandfather liked me. The grandmother liked me. The dog liked me. Do you understand that this just doesn't happen? I've been fighting with my own people all my life. And then these people come out of nowhere, somebody I met on Facebook or something. I wish they were black people. I really did. It hasn't hit him yet. He's one of us. What do you say to that when you've been fighting all your life? When you've been trying to be a part of something all your life, then you have somebody who from the country. This is a country chick, bro. One of them country redhead. It's a beautiful red country chick, bro. These are country. These are people who you hear about who they tell you to stay away from. Country folk. The dad, you would have thought the dad would, hates black people. This dude love black people, bro. It's crazy. The grandmother too. Bro, they're the ones adopting. They were adopting black kids, bro. And I was completely taken aback. I did not know. We all went out to eat several times. To be like, yeah, bring them. We're all going out to eat. I didn't pay for none of it. We all bum rushed to, Golden Corral or whatever. Get a big ass family table, bro. Come on, man. It'd be like 15 of us in there all getting down on some country steak or whatever. The country fried steak with the white sauce. We all in there chopping it up. Nobody said nothing to none of us racist. The most beautiful thing, bro. It's just beautiful. It was beautiful. I didn't fear anybody coming in starting nothing. I wasn't looking around to see if somebody's boyfriend was about to come in. Bro, I'm going to tell you something. It was too good to be true. That's what happened. It was too good. It was too good to be true. And I started having ambivalent feelings because I'm so used to the bottom falling out. If I got a good job, I know I'm about to get fired. My mind is so messed up when it comes to that. I'm always looking for the basement. I'm always looking for everything to fall out. I'm always looking for this thing to go wrong. And so because I'm like that, I didn't self-sabotage, but what all she wanted me to do, to come live there, to give up my apartment where I'm at now, there's no way I was going to give up my apartment. I've done that before. Come live with me. I'll take care of you. Done that. And then when they had enough of me, they kicked me out. And sure enough, her too, when she couldn't get what she wanted, that was the end of communication. When she couldn't get what she wanted. Plus, she had been married before, and I won't marry anyone who's been married before. And that was the last straw for me. And I had to go. But that whole experience was. She had a little niece that they adopted. Her name was Charlotte. Just a beautiful, just a good kid. They had a boy who was a teenager. He was a black kid. He was adopted. You could still see the innocence in his face. He's a teenager. These kids now, these teenagers are demons. You could still see the hope in this kid's eyes. And little Charlotte, look, the woman I was dating and me, we used to compete for Charlotte's attention. And because Charlotte just loved everyone. We go out, I tell her, I'd be like, Charlotte, she loves me more than she loves you. And she'd be like, no, that's not true. And I'd be like, watch. Charlotte, she'll come over here and give me a hug. I'm telling you. So I'll be like, "Hey, Charlotte, come here." She'd come over and hug me, and then and then her aunt would be like, "Charlotte," like type of thing. But Charlotte was just a good kid. They were all good kids. They were just really good kids, and I was just so surprised to see how well mannered they were. Now this is 10, 10 or more years ago. So they were all out of high school. They probably all got kids, except maybe shoot. I don't know. Maybe Charlotte does too. She's got to be out of high school. The daughter definitely is. I mean, when I was there, she was 16. So she's 25, 26 now. She definitely got some kids. Her daughter definitely got children. But it is what it is. And they drank well water. Bro, well water, I would pay good money for well water. I kept trying to contact her to buy water, but she wouldn't sell it to me. When she was finished, she was finished. I used to email her every now and then just to say hello. She would say hi, but she wouldn't say much back. It was out. She probably had a new man, probably got a new man or two. It's out. But that was the last white experience I had. It was great. It was great. It was great. Hasn't hit him yet. He's one of us. Tell you what, I wish things could have worked out between her and I, but like I said, I wish she was black. I wish there was a whole black family. If it was, she wasn't married before, that I would be married. I'd have probably put a couple kids in her by now. Oh yeah. I'd have probably eventually moved down there. Oh yeah, there's no doubt. No doubt. She was just too good of a woman. House clean, she went to work. She would come home for lunch and see me. She was something else. Bye-bye,